Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session today on learning blockchain in 7 days, where we'll be covering the fundamentals of blockchain. And today is very special because in the next half an hour, we are going to create confidence in many people to become better blockchain programmers or get into this blockchain space or become blockchain professionals. Right. Thank you so much, everyone. So, how many of you are super excited to learn more about how to become a blockchain professional or learn the basics of blockchain? Type E in the chat box. Yes. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you, Lakshmi. So people who are joining us on our social channels, I request you to join us live onto our Zoom session. So the link to the Zoom is on the chat, right? So you can see that in the link itself, you can directly go and learn more about the session. Okay, great. So how many of you are able to, listen to me clearly? Type C in the chat box. Okay, thank you so much. Great. Okay, so people who are joining us on our social channels, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. And people who are joining us on our Zoom session directly, who have clicked directly on the YouTube chat. So if you are joining us from the YouTube chat, you can see that in the chat, there is the link to YouTube. In the YouTube chat, there is a link for the Zoom session. Now I have even pinned it. You can see that in the blue bar, you can click there and directly join us on Zoom Live. Okay, so let me tell you about the program. So this 7-day program is broken down into smaller concepts of blockchain. So we will cover everything from the basics. Today is the day one, and as we progress, we learn a little bit more and more about blockchain, and we'll also learn about how the industry is there currently for blockchain and how you can be part of this growing industry, right? So on the 7th day, we'll be having our masterclass where you'll be learning a little bit more about our paid program, our community. We have over 1000 members in our community. So the community is growing day in, day out, right? So where every member helps each other. So we'll be talking all of these during our 7 days, and on the 7th day there'll be the masterclass where you can learn, and even there'll be an opportunity for you to join the community as well, right? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you, Sabrajit. Thank you, Advik. Thank you so much, Kishore, for joining us on Zoom. Thank you so much, Nadir. Right? That's great. So we will be starting our session. Let me share my screen. So before we start, we'll be doing a very small exercise called the Ho'oponopono technique. So now this Ho'oponopono technique is a Hawaiian technique that is helpful in clearing self-doubt and negativity. This is being used world over by many people. And I would require you to close your eyes for this 2 minutes and say these statements out loud. If you are able to say the statements out loud, you'll be able to take the maximum benefit. So this technique is called the Ho'oponopono technique, and I request you to say these statements out loud so that it'll be helpful for you, right? So this technique uses 4 high energy, high vibration statements, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And we'll be using these statements to talk to our own self. You're not talking to anyone else. You're going to talk to your own self, right? So you're going to talk to your energy, your beautiful spirit, right? So I request you to close your eyes, relax your breath, relax your forehead, relax your eyes, relax your cheeks, relax your shoulders, relax your back, and relax your feet. Put your hand on your heart and say the statements out loud And these statements, I'd be using my name, I'd be saying Sachi, and you'd be taking your name. You can say Divyansh, Rahul, and your own name, right? So let's begin. Close your eyes. I'm really sorry, dear Sachi. Here you'd be taking your name. I'm really sorry, dear Sachi, for not taking care of you. I'm so sorry for disconnecting with you, dear Sachi. I'm so sorry for leaving you alone. I am the one who judges you so much. I am the one who criticizes you so much. Please forgive me, dear Sachi, for underestimating you. Please forgive me, dear Sachi, for not believing in you. Thank you, dear Sachi. I'll take my own name here, dear Sachi. You will be taking your names. Thank you, dear Sachi, for letting me have this beautiful experience of life. Thank you so much. From now on, it doesn't matter who doesn't love you. It doesn't matter who doesn't appreciate you, because I promise you, from now on, I love you. I am here, and I would never let you go again. A deep breath. Put your hands together and put that energy to your face. Great. Amazing. So I request you to put one word in the chat box and let us know what was your result of this 2-minute technique called hope, hope, nope, no. What was the result before and after? Just one word. So we have people on our social channels saying happy, relaxed, calm, peaceful, refreshing. That's great. On our Zoom, we have Aina says good. Sarjeet says release. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Eric says feeling like Superman. Yes, okay. Great. So this is a proven technique, and you can even research about it. It's something that has helped most of our community members. We have a community of over 1,000 people. So I request you to even practice this by your own. Okay. Sanjukta says relaxing. Okay. Thank you so much. So let's start with today's session. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So we will be covering today the basics of blockchain, why there is the need for blockchain, and we'll also understand a little bit of hashing. What is this security feature called hashing, right? Okay, great. So let me know if you're able to see my screen. Okay. Hope you are able to see my screen. Great. Okay. If you're able to see my screen, type C in the chat box. Great. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. So today's session, Learn Blockchain, the 7-day challenge, we'll learn first the need and evolution of blockchain, right? So it will be a little on the basic front. We'll not be learning a little about coding or encryption in detail today. We'll understand why there was a need for blockchain, right? So the agenda is we'll be talking about the origin and evolution of money. Then we'll be talking about what triggered the origin of the cryptocurrency, the blockchain, right? So, okay, great. So let's continue. So now, if you look at the evolution of money, 6,000 BC, so many years and centuries back, the exchange was happening by barter. For example, I had pulses. If I wanted some fish, I would exchange with someone. If I wanted milk, I would exchange with someone, right? So this exchange is nothing but the barter. What happens in this particular system is it has its own flaws. You cannot carry your pulses and your cattle everywhere. You cannot carry fruits everywhere, and then there is they'll rot, and there's a lot of logistic issue also. You cannot travel from cities to cities like that, right? It's more local only. Slowly what happened is gold came in, and then there were kingdoms, and the centralization of money started happening, where the kings or the ministry used to give what could be done by so and so amount of gold, right? At that moment also, carrying gold was difficult. Earlier it was heavy and bigger in size. And the challenge with gold was, because it was high in value, you cannot buy something small that easily, right? So you cannot even fractionalize gold then and there. You cannot just give a portion of gold and say, give me some milk, right? So how many of you agree with me, right? If you agree, type A in the chat box. Cannot fractionalize, right? So that is one thing. And then came in the metal coins. So what happened in metal coins is you were able to make smaller coins like cents and annas or things like that. But here also the rulers, the kingdoms, the challenge here was, even for example, you had to give somebody 1,000 coins is something very difficult to count, very difficult to carry everywhere, and it still was heavy. So what happened is kings started giving to their vendors, like for example, somebody provides, like painted their castle or something. They used to say that, here is an agreement between you and me, where we say, I'm going to give you 1,000 shillings or whatever currency they have, 1,000 coins. And those coins, you give this paper to the treasury, or then they'll give you the coins. Okay, so what happened later is, people, if let's just say the paint person is going to take the paint from some market that time, like let's just say natural paints. Okay, so he used to say, okay, I'll take 1,000 worth of paints, and you can have this agreement, paper agreement, and directly go to the treasury and take the money. So, and that started circulating, and this paper money was did not have any metal value by itself. Like for example, when you had let's just say a 5 rupee coin, 5 rupee coin by itself has some weight, it has something that you can do with that this thing. But when it's paper, it does not have its own intrinsic value, right? So basically, you were able to give that paper money as much as you had coins or gold, right? So you cannot just say, take so and so amount of 5,000 coins, but you do not have 5,000 coins, that will not work, right? So all of your money was backed by an asset, right? So that is called asset backing. When your currency is backed by assets, that is called the asset backing. Okay, so people who are joining us on our YouTube channels, you can see that there is a link to Zoom session on the chat, and from there you can directly join us live in the Zoom itself, right? So I hope that is easy for you to do. Great, thanks. So now paper money came in. Later on, paper money became the currency, and then there were notes that came in, right? And every country or every kingdom had its own currency. And later, slowly, this electronic money, a lot recently, the electronic money came in, where net banking and everything became possible. And now we are at the cryptocurrency age. There is still evolution, right? We used paper money for a lot of time, but here there was some challenge. What happened is, like now, if the central authority, the small king or a merchant says, I give you so I'll give you 1,000 coins, but if he does not have so much coins in the system, what will happen, right? So there, because there is asset is not backed, like, whatever paper money you have, there's no asset backing. So the central authority, for example, let's just say they had only 1000 coins, and they have given 1000 for the paper money to someone, right? But later somebody else came in and they say I'd give you 1000 because the trade was happening through paper only, right? So they would say I would still give you 1000, but you still had only 1000 in your treasury. What happened here is the value of 1000 became half, right? So if you print more money than on based upon whatever you have, the challenge is the value of the money will keep decreasing, right? So that is happens, right? So the value of the money keeps decreasing, right? So that is one thing. Yeah, okay. So Vijay, the inflation and this is not same, right? So that is something else. But if you print more money than you have asset backing, then the value of money decreases, right? So I think the evolution of money is clear to everyone. So if you understood this particular concept here, type U in the chat box. Great. So this is a very simple concept. If you've understood the asset backing and the evolution of money, then type U in the chat box. Great. Amazing. Thank you so much, Sarvjit. Okay, let me help a few of our people who are trying to join us on YouTube. Yes, great. So people who are watching us on social channels, you can join us on Zoom directly, right? So if you're directly watching us on our social channels, you can use the chat for interacting with us. Great. Now that we have understood the evolution of money, I'm going to share my screen. Let's continue. Right. So now that we have understood the evolution of money, then we'll understood what are the challenges of these currency, because this was controlled by a kingdom or one particular authority. We were believing in them, right? So there was centralization in this particular area, and this was not backed by tangible asset. So that was the challenge here that came with paper money. The paper money is also called the fiat currency, right? So now the paper money also became digital when net banking came in. The another challenge it came here was it was still centralized. There was maybe an RBI or a bank who was controlling all the transactions. I mean, the central authority, the RBI, is there, but the digital ecosystem was prone to cyber attacks also. Right, so there was no asset backing as such, or because there was more money being printed than there were assets in the ecosystem. So that was also causing a lot of decrease in the value, though there was more money in the system. But what they could do with that was the value of that money was decreasing day in, day out, right? So these were a few challenges. And if you see, one nature of money is it is fungible, meaning if I have a 10 rupee note, if I give it to you, if you have a 10 rupee note, you can give it to me. I mean, you can exchange it. Both of these are equal in value. When something is equal in value, it is called fungible or exchangeable. When something is unique, it is called non-fungible, right? So you can directly, for example, if you have something different and unique to yourself, then that becomes non-fungible, right? So this is also something that comes. Those what happens in NFTs when non-fungible tokens, they mean is unique tokens. So non-fungible, you can replace the word with unique, right? So we understood the challenges with the fiat currencies. Now we'll move on to what triggered the financial crisis and why it in turn triggered our initiation of the blockchain system, right? So now if you look at the problem in 2008, the Federal Reserve, like how we have RBI here in US, there is Federal Reserve. Now what they have done is they have given loans to the commercial banks at very lesser interest in trying to increase the flow of currency within the ecosystem, right? So what happened, this is like they started giving more loans to people who were not able to afford these loans, right? So basically people who were not able to pay the loans back, right? So the people who are very good profile customers are called prime customers, and the people who have a lesser CIBIL score or bad credit, they are called the subprime customers. So what happened is Federal Reserve started giving out loans at a lesser interest rate so that more people could afford the better lifestyle and all those things, and or there'll be more push in the economy. But that decision, and there were many other factors, but that was a primary decision which led to the crisis. So what happened is all the money that was there went out to this high risk customers. So this high risk customers increased from 1.5% to 18%, which is more than 10x. Just in 2006 and 2007, this happened over years, but just in 2006 to 2007, it increased from 1.5% to 18%, meaning there was more money outside the bank with people. And now because they were not able to pay back the loans, and that caused slowly the financial crisis. And banks started, like when people reached out to banks all at once demanding for the money, they were not able to give the money that person used to have in that account, their own account, right? So this led to this financial crisis, and many people were invested into these bonds created on this particular idea. Many countries were invested, and all of them, because this whole plan failed, the whole of the global economy went for a toss. And that was the 2008 financial crisis. And people who have read about it or understood or seen any documentary about it will understand this in a clear fashion. But that was the problem, and that was what triggered the crisis, right? So what was the problem here was the centralized control of currency. Basically, the Federal Reserve took a decision, and because that decision failed, the single point of control became the single point of failure, right? If more currency was printed, or more currency or more loans were given, the whole ecosystem got failed, right? Double spending was happening. Double spending meaning, like for example, as I've told you, you can if you have 1,000 worth of asset only, but you are giving two people that yes, I have 1,000. So what is happening here? You're spending the same money twice, right? So people were spending more than their own capacity because loans were very easy. So that was one of the problem that caused this particular crisis, right? And what happened is this in turn triggered the origin of Bitcoin, which was more of a decentralized system, and this was not controlled by any entity, right? So there was one white paper that was published in October 21st, 2008. You can search for it online, you'll be able to see it. And this was named under Satoshi Nakamoto. And this was an anonymous person or a group, we don't know, because this is not their real name. The reason being because this paper was riskier to the whole financial system, right? So they would not wanted to reveal their identity. So that is how this is an anonymous group. And this was implemented first time after the paper on 3rd Jan 2009. And the first message that was there on this block was the Times chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. So meaning the people who were there, who were the chancellors of bank, were, though they mishandled the cash and the money of people, were being bailed out, right? So for that reason, the anger was shown in the first message itself on Bitcoin, saying that these people are being bailed out, right? So that is why Bitcoin is very much related to the financial crisis of 2008, right? So I hope we've understood what led to the origin of cryptocurrency, right? If you understood this, type U in the chat box. Great. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Sushmita. Hi, Rajkumar. Thank you for joining us. That's great. Okay. Let's continue. Thank you so much, Abhijit. Yes, my screen is visible. Now, so Bitcoin and blockchain are both different. Bitcoin is an application of blockchain, but this was the first application that got created. So this has become more popular, and this was actually widely used at that moment. So people think Bitcoin as equal as blockchain, but both are different. On blockchain, you can build use these properties of Bitcoins and build any system, let's just say for insurance, for supply chain and all the other things. Bitcoin is one of the application on the finance side of blockchain, right? I hope that is clear. Now, so what are a few properties of these cryptocurrencies? Was there were no intermediaries involved, right? So there was no bank. If you want to send, if I want to send any money to Sarbjeet, I can directly send it to him from my wallet to his wallet. Because I don't require any system to power this transaction. So how does this work? We have a self-regulated system that is guided by its own protocol. What does this mean? So for example, if there's a traffic signal and you had to without the traffic police being there, you can still know when to cross, when not to. So because it's a self-regulated system guided by a protocol. Similarly, blockchain has its own protocol where no intermediary is required to regulate the system altogether. And there is no double spending. You'll not be, because everything is every transaction is recorded. You cannot just say ki I have $10, and you cannot say one person that I'll give you $10. I mean, any government or bank cannot say that I'll give you $10 or I'll give you $10 to the same $10 cannot be given to both people, right? So same money cannot be given to both people. But otherwise, what happens in banks is, if, for example, some person comes and deposits their money, the money stays with the bank, and there's a reserve of bank, the deposit that is there, and they can give even loans to people, and at the interest rate set by RBI. They'll have their own margin here. So the challenge here is they can give same money to more people, meaning because let's just say you would be only spending whatever money that is being given by the bank, But let's just say if there is some interest being gathered on it and all those things, so that keeps on getting more and more revenue for the banks, right? So here later on, you just paying interest on the money that is not actually existent. So what happens here is the banks can say that they are able to give more loans than actual value of money that they have, right? So for example, they have so and so, let's just say a small bank has 1 lakh, it can still give loans higher than that, right? So double spending could happen in a regular system, but that could not be possible in Bitcoin because it's transparent, because it has its a public ledger. A ledger is nothing but list of financial transactions, and these transactions are visible to everyone, right? So, and these are immutable, meaning you'll not be able to change whatever transaction that you added onto the block, right, on the network. So immutable means not mutable. Mutable is editable, so it is not editable, and that is why this is called an immutable public ledger, right? So it's all transparent, and there is no easy way to trick this. Now there is no single point of failure because there is nobody in control, and participants who are there. Basically, who's a participant in a network? Any person who's a node is the participant, and the participants can mine, observe, and transact, which means that a participant can either hold the money and do nothing in his wallet, or he can send it to other person, he can receive, and he can use the mining means basically using your device to help the blockchain network to process the transactions, right? So that is what is called mining. Mining is nothing but a way to validate the recent transactions on the blockchain network, and many computers are there that verify this transactions, and this verification of the transactions is called mining, right? So when some transactions are verified, a little reward is given to the system that was doing it, and that is how a little Bitcoin gets generated. This is what is called mining. Okay, so who are miners? Basically, they are individual nodes who are helping the blockchain to process more transactions. I hope this is clear. So if you are clear with the properties of a Bitcoin, you can type C in the chat box. Great. So people who are joining us on our social channels, you can type it in the comment section. Great. Amazing. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks, Vijit. Thanks, Prashant. Great. Okay, so let's begin again. Let me share my screen. Thank you, Sarjeet. Now, you can see that the origin of cryptocurrency. We'll understand a little bit of the origin of cryptocurrency. The way here is whenever you hold some money in your crypto wallet, this wallet opens only on your own digital signature, meaning your own key. So this key is an encrypted key that you have to keep very safe, right? If this key is lost, you'll not be able to access your own funds. So all the transactions that are done on any Bitcoin wallet are not editable, right? So basically it is protected on even every small transaction level, and each transaction is not changeable, and hence the whole Bitcoin becomes more and more secure, right? So that is the reason keeping your digital signature with you and the key with you for your wallet is very important, right? Only you in the whole world should know what is the key for your wallet, right? So that is digital signature, right? And today's session, we will uh, conclude today's session by learning just the fundamentals. And tomorrow we'll join again and understand a little bit more in a deeper sense of what is hashing and encryption, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And it was really nice to have all of you and all the engagement that you have shown, the excitement that you've shown by interacting with us. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. If you have understood today's session, you can type you in the chat box. Thank you, Sarabjit. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you. Thank you, Sushant. Thanks, Rachana. Great. Thanks, Rajkumar. Thanks, Sanjukto. Thanks, Divyansh. It was really nice to have you all. So tomorrow we'll be joining for at the same time for the session again, where we'll be covering more about encryption and how you can know a little bit more about these encryption functions. We'll also be learning that and slowly proceeding towards our masterclass. The masterclass will be on 7th day. People who are there all throughout the session for a whole of the 7 days, there will be certifications given. I'd request you to join us every day. Right? People who are watching us on YouTube, you can summarize your top learning, what you have learned today that you found interesting. You can put it in the comment section. That will be helpful. And we will, if you have any queries, also you can put there. We can take them up tomorrow as well. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice one. Bye.